Hey guys, James here, and this is going to be my first video for this YouTube channel. So, I don't actually play in this game, so this is just a 4v4 on the Pampas map. So, I'm not going to tell you who wins, and sorry guys, I'm going to have the volume off because it could interfere with my commentary. But here, maybe in future games I'll turn it on. So let me just do sort of a run through. So on the team to the south, in red we have the Ottomans. Oops, I unpaused the game. We have the Ottomans. Sorry. We have British in yellow, the Dutch in green, and the French in blue. And the team to the north, we have the Germans in purple, Spanish in orange, Portuguese in pink, and the Russians in teal. Alright, so let's get started. So not a whole lot to talk about in the first stage. So the Ottomans, I'll just go over the possible strategies. So the Ottomans are obviously going to be training plenty of janissaries and artillery. So the Ottomans always have a strong military, and the Ottomans probably won't be rushing. They don't have a strong rush. The British possibly. They're really strong late game and pretty strong early game with the pike. Oops, I'll turn it on fast so it's not extremely slow. The British are strong, so they might do a pikeman longbow rush. Not sure. And oops, skipped here. Oh yeah, I'm just viewing as red Ottomans, like why not? The Dutch are really strong late game, but they're vulnerable to harassment early game, so we might see, who knows, we'll probably see some harassment from them, coming to them, like somebody attacking them early in the game, and they could even be wiped out, but if they don't get wiped out early on, then they'll be really strong late game, and they'll be a problem for the other team. The French have a really strong fortress age, so because they can get cuirassiers, the strongest cavalry in the game, and they can also start training their skirmishers. The Germans have a pretty good colonial age because they can immediately train the strongest hand infantry in the entire game, which is the Doppelsoldner. Then Spanish, also really good first age. They'll definitely be rushing. Portuguese, good fortress age, so they'll probably be racing to there. And the Russians, so many different strategies that I can't even really predict. So let's see, just scouting things right now. Yeah, we see the Spanish player going through people's bases, maybe trying to pick off the occasional villager with his war dog and explorer. And here we go, first player in the second age is red, the Ottomans. And it looks like he aged up with the chests of 200 coin and outpost wagon. And maybe he will be going for a rush. Maybe I was mistaken because he is getting a whole lot of houses, which could be a sign that he's rushing. So here we go. French player in blue doing a pretty good job with his herding, has a fairly nice herd of llamas at his base. However, the orange player sees this and steals them with his explorer, so nice move by him. And maybe I really just can't tell what the red player is up to because he's building a whole bunch of outposts, which could suggest a turtle. I really can't tell, too early in the game to tell. But he is obviously thinking about training a whole lot of units early on with all these houses. Let's see, is anybody else in the second age yet? No, looks like everybody's just, sitting back and booming for now in the first age. So now we're just waiting for them for the other people to age up. And here the Russians starting to put up some block houses. That's standard. That's just a standard Russian thing, putting up all the, just a blockhouse spam. Here, the red player, 2 barracks, so yeah, I think it's pretty safe to say at this now that he's putting up those 2 barracks right next to each other that he's gonna be going for a Janissary rush. Always strong. Janissary is one of the strongest infantry units in the game. Probably the strongest heavy infantry. And if you get a whole lot of those on the field, not good for the enemy team. And here we go. Now people are starting to age up to the second age, and the Spanish player, I'm really quick to get the barracks up. So yeah, and there we go. I think that was a 5 Rodelleros, and the orange player also has some pikemen. Portuguese player in pink also aged up, and they're all aged up at the same time. Maybe they've been coordinating. Let's see the German player. Yep, German in purple is aged up. There we go. British player aged up. Dutch player, I was kind of expecting this. Always a very, very, very slow age up. They're always taking their time, sitting back and booming. So it looks like the French player in blue will be looks like he's spamming crossbows. Not the best unit, but very good for a spam. And here we go. We see let's see. It seems pink and blue are both training crossbows, and they're having a little skirmish here. And wow. That is quite a lot of men this early in the game coming from orange, and they're just going to be harassing the villagers that are further out, and it looks like they're even pushing into the Dutch base, and not so good for the Dutch player there, destroying that barracks before it can get up. Now the Russian player coming in with some Cossacks. So right now it is not looking too good for the southern team. Although here comes the blue player coming in with support to hopefully fight off the Spanish player. That cavalry is going to get killed by all the anti-cav Spanish units, but the heavy infantry should do quite nicely against those units. And here we go, 10 Janissaries from the red player. So it looks like I was right. He is he's not necessarily rushing, but he is getting a whole ton of Janissaries. And it looks like his units are off gold, but he's noticed. And already very quick to react. The orange player in Spanish already getting another batch of 10 Rodelleros out there, probably hoping to catch the French player off guard, since all of the French player's units are at green's base. Red here has been pretty free of attacks so far, so he's probably thinking he can mobilize his fairly large army this early game of 20 Janissaries, sort of mobilizing it, protecting his allies' bases. And, oh, I see what he's doing. He's looking to help the French player, contain the Spanish at his base, because okay, this is getting complicated. But, yeah, the northern team is really just pumping out units, and I really think they have the advantage right now. The red player, yes, true, he is going around, but if he gets attacked, then it's not gonna be pretty for the other team, because he seems to be the one holding the enemy harassment up. Although, hold the phone, we see, kind of as I suspected, a common early game British strategy of a quite strong spam of pikes and longbows. And yes, that is 20 Janissaries there, and another 20 there. So I'm going to expect the red player to sort of mobilize all that heavy infantry and go in for an assault. But because he's been training all these Janissaries, he has not yet aged up to the third age, which will give him a fairly large disadvantage, unlike the British player we see here, who's reached the third age and is now training a fort. And that is a very large purple force. Well, it doesn't look too large, but there are a lot of Doppelsoldners in there. And this is what I suspected to happen. Red is being attacked, and so is yellow. So that was quite coordinated attack, but is eventually fended off. But still. And yellow, he goes right by this fort here. Maybe he doesn't notice it, and yep, yellow sees it. So he's going to try to take down that fort, but he doesn't have too many longbows, and longbows aren't exactly known for their siege attack. So I'm not sure how well that'll work out. Probably send some more units, and of course, as that's happening, very good micro move there by purple. He's sneaking in, destroying that trading post. Oh, here we go, nice blob of Janissaries. So that is 50 Janissaries, and he's just going to mow right over, this unprotected Russian village. At the same time, we see blue starting to make a push into purple's base. And it's right about now that I'm, sorry guys, going to pause the video to take a little break for myself. So, see you in the next video. Oops, sorry about the camera shaking.